I read some good books in November, but also I read some real stinkers. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is April if you've never been here before, and this is my November wrap up. I read 14 books this month, which is pretty much on par for how I read. A lot of short ones though, a lot of short ones. However, I did start my month off with a bang, and let's just get right into it. So the first book I read in November was Butcher and Blackbird, and I did end up giving this 4 stars, but the more that I think about it, it's a 5-star book. It is a 5-star book. I absolutely loved it. Like, loved it. This was right up my alley. It's adorably macabre. You have 2 serial killers who are falling in love with each other, and meanwhile, while they're doing it, they're killing other serial killers. It's great. It's great. From the first page, it had me absolutely rolling, where she compares maggots to tiny little armies of orzo. I just could not stop laughing with this book, and I absolutely loved it. It's grotesque. It's sweet. It just has everything I love in it. If this was a movie, I'd watch it. In fact, I really hope they turn it into a movie because this is great. The banter is A+. I couldn't find anything bad to say about it, honestly. So yeah, I think I'm bumping up my rating on this from a 4-star to a 5-star because it's just one of those books that is just sticking in my brain, and the more I think about it, the more I love it. Right after that, I actually had a couple of DNFs, one being Resurrecting the Witch. Right away, this just wasn't hitting it for me. I think this is a lot sweeter than I was expecting. And really didn't get past the first date in this one. She's like on a dating app with a zombie and she's a witch. I didn't really get past that. The zombie is Irish though, I will say that. So I was enjoying that part of it, but it just really wasn't grabbing me, and I think I was in a bit of a mood. So I set this down, and I may or may not come back to it next Halloween because I think it's more in that type of season for me. And then I was sadly DNF'd The Blood Gift by N.E. Davenport. I absolutely loved the first book in this series. I think it's so action-packed. This is an adult sci-fi book that is also, I think, a romance, but don't quote me on that. It might just be an adult sci-fi adventure kind of story. It has a lot of political intrigue in it, but this one, the spice, there was very spicy right from the beginning, which the 2 main characters kind of pick up where they left off in the last book. And I really just wasn't into it. I wasn't into it. I was enjoying the audiobook of this for a while. I like all the other parts of it, the political intrigue, why she's being casted away, that kind of thing. But ultimately, I just got kind of annoyed by the spice in this book, so I put it down. And then I read Never Met a Duke Like You by Amelie Howard. I ended up giving this 2 stars. I love Amelie Howard's books, but this one just was not hitting it for me. I was just kind of bored through it. This is an adaptation of Emma, and I realized while reading this that I really wasn't into the matchmaking trope type thing. So yeah, my bad. I did like the 2 main characters kind of needling each other throughout this, so they kind of have this antagonistic type of nature to them, but ultimately I just wasn't interested in this book. And then I read Iron Flame. I have a whole reading vlog on this, and honestly, I quite enjoyed my time reading Iron Flame. I ended up giving it 4 stars. For me, this is a book that just cannot be taken seriously. Like, it even makes fun of itself in the book, especially in this second one when they meet the Griffins and they're like, why would you kill each other during school? It was great. I was laughing. This is a CW show. It really is just like made up drama upon made up drama. Violet and Xaden just fight constantly in this book, but let me tell you, I was entertained. I was entertained and I enjoyed it. And I will continue to read these books because I just kind of like them. But they definitely are not the most well-written books. They definitely are not the most well-plotted books. There are a lot of plot holes, a lot of characters brought back, and then you immediately don't get to deal with that in any way. Like, there's a cliffhanger at the end of book 1, which is immediately gotten into in book 2, and then she's immediately going back to the college. I'm kind of done with the college in this series, so that's why I took away the 5-star in this, because the whole time at the college I was just like, can we get out of the college? And I really hope the next one is more into the bigger world that she has created in this series, and I want more of the dragon politics in the next one for sure. And then I read 2 books that were just okay. Like, I liked them both, but they were just kind of okay. They didn't excite me in any way, but they also didn't piss me off in any kind of way. And that was Stealing the Troll's Heart by Leon Riley and To Ravish a Rogue by C.M. Nascosta. You know, I'm really kind of surprised I didn't love these. I think both of these, with C.M. Nascosta, I don't know what it is, but it's almost like she doesn't go there enough for me. It's like a sweeter, spicy monster romance, and I feel like I just need a little bit more from them that I'm just not getting for some reason. And then with the Stealing the Troll's Heart, that one was a lot sweeter, but ultimately I just thought it was an okay book. I wasn't impressed by it too much, but I do want to read more from that series particularly. There are some other characters, and again, it's monster romance that I'm intrigued by. So even though this one I wasn't in love with, I didn't hate it either. I don't want to give another book a try. And then I finished the Creepy Court Anthology. There were a lot of books in here that I really liked. My favorites being the one with the Five Nights at Freddy's type of murderous rampage. And then there was a very sweet male-male romance dealing with a plumber. That was really great. A lot of these I really liked. Some of them I skipped. Honestly, I skipped the Ashley Bennett one. I just wasn't doing it for me. There is one with the Antiquities Guide. I think that was my favorite of the anthology, where they go into the antiquities store and yeah, some things happen and it was great. I really like the idea of this anthology of a lot of stories about this 80s mall, and each like the arcade has a story, and then the children's place has a story, and then the fashion places have a story, and then the pasta place has a story. I really enjoyed it. I think it was great, and I love the 80s vibe in this. Totally, if you're into Stranger Things, that kind of stuff, this will be really good for you. Then I finished The Sleepy Hollow Duet by Karina Halley. I read Legend. I really think this was a solid ending to the duology. I ended up giving it 3 stars. I really liked figuring out what the witches were doing with this school and everything surrounding the town. But holy balls, Batman, the spice in this book. The throuple situations in the lake, holy balls, Batman. It was good. It was good. It was super spicy, and it was still that same Sleepy Hollow vibe that you got from the first one, and wrapped up in a nice little package. I think this is a solid duet. Again, I am a Karina Halley stan, so that may just be me, but I really enjoyed this one. And then I got into some weird books, and the best one of these 3 books here, let me say, was Stuffed by the Wereturkey. The other 2 I gave 4 stars to though. Like, all 3 of these, winners. Absolute winners. Stuffed by the Wereturkey though, I think what sealed it over the top for me was the fact that he kind of like half shifted and his head was still a turkey. Like, this book was exactly what you want from a weird romance. It's hilarious, it's short, it's spicy. The guy has basically feathers for chest hair. I mean, it was great. Full Sack also from Layla Faye. Man, that was the most interesting dinner party that I've ever read. And the fact, I can't even say it. I feel embarrassed now for some reason. Why should I feel embarrassed? I did a whole live show on these books. Things come out of his man part, okay? He's just a demon who can give you what you want, but in order to get it, he's gotta grow it through his man parts and shoot it out like a t-shirt cannon. Listen, it was a good time. It was a good time. A little long, so that's why I say 4 stars. But also, this book, I bought this book. I actually bought it because it was $3.50. And let me tell you, best $3.50 I ever spent. This definitely has all the Jaws vibes. And in the end, you just get a giant, well, you know what? If you've seen Jaws, you know what's gonna happen. Okay, people gonna die, okay? But it's kind of in the best way possible, a little bit. And then my giant stinker of the month, giant disappointment to where I'm mad at it, is House of Sky and Breath by Sarah J. Maas. What the hell is going on in this book? Why was this book written? It was terribly written. This book has absolutely no plot till about, I don't know, 90%. And then you're like, oh, plot has shown up here. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, over. And then, oh God, everything annoyed me about this book. Crystal and I have a live show on it. We did read this for our book club, so that's the only reason I finished this book. I would have DNF'd it otherwise because I was so confused and so bored through this whole book that I almost don't even want to read the next one. Like, that's how done I was with this book. I was mad at it. And if I hear anything more about Sunball or ballet, again, I'm just gonna strangle them. And also, Bryce is so annoying. Hunt is a wet blanket. I hated this book so much. It was a 1 star until the very end when you finally learn what the Asteri is. And then I gave it 2 stars. But honestly, I'd be satisfied with just leaving this at a 1-star book. It was on par with The Court of Frost and Poop. Okay, I also hate that book. It makes me sad because I gave Crescent City 5 stars. I really like it, but this kind of also made me wonder, do I like urban fantasy? I don't know. I guess I just definitely don't like Sarah J. Maas's urban fantasy because this was absolute crap. So there you have it. There's all the books that I read in November. Let me know what you think. Don't hate me too much for hating on Sarah J. Maas. She is still my favorite author. I'm just so disappointed in that book that it makes me mad. I probably still will read Crescent City 3 because dang it, she has a hold on me like that, okay? I just will reluctantly read it and then I'll end up loving that one. Let me know what your favorite book of November was, and as always, I hope you have a wonderful day and I'll see you next time. Bye.